One of the top advisors for former President Trump's re-election campaign is reportedly listed as a key figure in special counsel Jack Smith's indictment against Trump in the classified documents case. ABC News first reported that Susie Wiles, as the person mentioned in the indictment, who was present during a 2021 Bedminster meeting when Trump displayed a classified map. New York Post goes on to reveal that Wiles also has a top post at a lobbying firm serving Chinese entities that potentially pose a threat to national security. So joining us now, State Attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, Dave Aronberg. Dave, great to see you again. So let's get your reaction here. First to the news that this grand jury in Miami still going on the classified documents case. More subpoenas being issued, it had been reported. And now that Susie Wiles, a pretty prominent person in Republican politics, is in this dilemma where she has been identified as someone who was there when Trump pulled out that classified document.
Yeah, Jonathan, the new subpoenas from the grand jury in South Florida shows that Jack Smith is not done. Who could have figured that Trump's personal attacks against Jack Smith and his family would have no effect on him? Well, the investigation moves forward, and the fact that Susie Wiles is caught in it is a big deal because Susie Wiles is one of Trump's top campaign officials. She ran his campaign in Florida in 2016 and in 2020. She's one of his top national people, and you could have the specter of Trump's top political consultant testifying against him in a courtroom. I don't think she'll be charged with a crime unless she lied to investigators, but this is a script that would be too preposterous for any TV show. And somewhere Ron DeSantis is laughing because Susie Wiles went to work for Ron DeSantis and they had a falling out. And so there's some bad blood between them. So now she's back working for Trump, DeSantis' biggest rival, and here we are.
Here we are. And what I'm curious about is Dave, we have these happening, and two of the most vivid examples, as the Washington Post says, of Donald Trump abusing his access to classified documents happened actually in New Jersey. I'm curious, why isn't there a grand jury in New Jersey, since that's where the actions happened? Or can you have the grand jury in Miami, and then, based on what the grand jury finds in Miami, bring a case in New Jersey?
Joe, if they're going to bring a case in New Jersey, they're going to impanel a grand jury up there. And look, this Department of Justice is good at keeping secrets. We didn't know about the South Florida grand jury until a short time before the indictments down there. So we don't know that there's no grand jury up in New Jersey. We know there's been one in Washington, D.C. So I think of this as an insurance policy for Jack Smith and Merrick Garland. If Judge Cannon does things that they really don't like, that are far outside the law, they could go ahead and get another venue. They could seek an indictment in D.C., where the public there voted for Trump with 5% of the vote, a very blue area, or they can go up to New Jersey and do it up there. So there are some safety valves in case Judge Cannon gives the Department of Justice such a hard time. And already it looks like there are so many delays that the Trump people are trying to happen because that's their strategy: delay, delay, delay. One of them is Walt Nauta, the co-defendant, still hasn't found a local attorney and still hasn't had his arraignment.
That's ridiculous. Hey, let me ask you really quickly, Dave and Pat, as we move on, why didn't he charge Donald Trump in the Florida case? Why didn't he charge him with showing these documents?
Well, it's a good point. Trump is being charged under the Espionage Act for the willful retention of the documents. There's another part of the Espionage Act that involves the dissemination. But the dissemination apparently occurred in New Jersey at Bedminster. That's why he has not been charged of it. But that could come. Well, and that's why Susie Wiles is a crucial part of it.
Dave, that's more serious, though, right? I mean, the dissemination is actually the most serious part of it. So, again, if you're Donald Trump, you've got to be thinking, wait, this guy's not going to let me walk on the most serious charges. Like, he hasn't charged Donald Trump yet for the worst things that he did, if you look at the law.
In a court of public opinion, Joe, I agree with you. Dissemination is worse in many ways than the willful retention, because you're showing our secrets to people who are unauthorized to it. But it's actually the same penalty under the Espionage Act. It's all still up to 10 years in prison, and they already have charges against them under that act. But also, you need to prove it. You need to have the witnesses there, maybe a Susie Wiles, say, yeah, I saw it, he showed it to me. And also, Trump's defense now is, oh, it was just bluster, I didn't show anything. Remember that? He said maybe they're just golf course information, or it could even be crossword puzzles. Right. Now, that's my explanation for it. I think in the end, they may bring those charges, and it would be a real blow to Donald Trump and his attempt to say, oh, this didn't amount to anything. I didn't put anyone at risk.
Well, that's why Susie Wiles, as you were saying, why Susie Wiles' testimony is so important.